Hi everyone, so today we will draw my girlfriend's dog Luna. She's a Siberian Husky. Very beautiful dog. Actually yesterday I drew this cat and I realized I want to draw more animals just using normal printer paper and just normal pencil. It's a 2B pencil and maybe we will use this one, Rembrandt Carbon Extra Dark. It's a really dark, really nice black color, but for some reason they don't mix together. If anyone can say why is that, because it's a normal lead pencil and this is like some carbon extra stuff, but they don't mix together. I tried yesterday. Actually I'll show you now. Look, if I'm going full dark on this one and do some fading, here I can still shade. And as you can see, you have like a really nice saturated black, but you don't really have too much control in the lights. But here I can't draw the black, only at the back of it. I don't know why is that, but maybe I'll find some different pencil. Maybe I need to use oil pencil or something like this. So let's flip this over now, because we want to make it look nice. Sorry, everything is shaking because as you can see I'm using just the corner of my bedroom and it's a little bit uncomfortable because I'm like, my leg is in between the tripod. You're not gonna see it obviously, but it is there. But I do want to talk about this kind of thing while I'm drawing, because I don't know, I think too many people think that you need to have the best, the best pencils, the best workspace. You have to have like different level table, which can lift and go down and stuff like this. But in reality, you don't really need that. If you just want to draw, if you just want to practice, just normal pencil and just normal paper is more than enough. Because that's the thing, I used to buy a lot of like really expensive sketchbooks and then I was scared to use them because it's really expensive and I should only use it for some like proper artwork and stuff. But in reality, you just need to practice, that's it. And if you do want to practice, you just have to do it. Doesn't matter if you use a normal pencil or a cool pencil or whatever, really. You just need to practice. And I do have the latest iPad Pro. It's really nice for my work as a tattoo artist, but again, yesterday I was just thinking that, maybe I should just get back to drawing with normal pencil, because I haven't done this in a while, and here I am. Because I do have this, I don't know how to say it in English, but sometimes I don't feel like I'm a real artist because I'm using iPad, not the pencil. Because like it's kind of a cheating. Like, I know it's not cheating, it's still really difficult, but for me it's kind of a cheating in my head. So I decided, I have to prove myself wrong, that I am an artist, that I can draw just using really basic materials and make it look somewhat nice. And right now I'm just checking the sizes, so the ear and the dark part of the face is kind of the same size. I'm not really looking, so that's where it goes down a little bit. So you see I got the first measurement really wrong, but it doesn't really matter because you really just need to continue drawing. And that's another thing I found out, that again, doesn't matter the materials. You can do something nice if you just take your time. Okay, the first measurement didn't go so well, but maybe the second will, maybe not, but does it really matter? Not really. So just enjoy. the process. Right, so that's why it goes down a little bit. So you see I got the first measurement really wrong, but it doesn't really matter because you really just need to continue drawing. And that's another thing I found out, that again, doesn't matter the materials. You can do something nice if you just take your time. Okay, the first measurement didn't go so well, but maybe the second will, maybe not. But does it really matter? Not really. So just enjoy the process. And I don't know if you guys can see the whole thing. Maybe not. Maybe I should just move it. Also, I will shut up for some time as well, just to focus. And also the cat, I did it pretty small, but I do want to make something nice for my girlfriend, so I will try to make it big, and I will try to make it right, which is very difficult. I think when you're just drawing some random cats from Pinterest and stuff, some random photos, you don't have that much pressure, because you're not really thinking about, oh, it definitely needs to look exactly the same. With someone's pets, especially if it's your girlfriend's, you're screwed if it, if it doesn't look like in real life. But we'll see. By the way, I'm not really using too many measurements, like hand measurements right now. I have mainly in my head, just comparing, this with this part, with this part, with this part. So you have like 4 main pieces of the face here, and then the same thing I'm doing here, just measuring all together. Since it's not really a tutorial, I'm just showing you my process. I don't feel like I need to show you too much, and also I don't really feel like I can teach too much in the academical drawing, so we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna draw. And also I'm not really doing like a full academical drawing, as you can see, because I do scribble sometimes, and I think it's fine, really. I just realized maybe a few months ago that yes, you do have some rules that you have to follow if you are going for some specific style, for example. If my goal would be to do it in a full academical drawing, I would definitely use these rules. But if you're just drawing for yourself, it's okay to just do what you feel is right, Don't just blindly follow every rule. Sometimes you can skip some steps and save your time just because you didn't follow that one rule from academic drawing or some other ones, And we do start to get something that looks like a dog. Still looks a little bit funky monkey and weird. So the most important thing with drawing the animals is drawing the eyes, the ears, and the nose, and the mouth, obviously, if you're drawing the portrait, because that's the body parts that actually stand out. The other things is just fur, mostly, so you have to have some of the clearance. I don't know if I explained it correctly, but I guess you can understand what I'm saying. Just make sure you have nice eyes, nose, mouth and ears, because they do give that interest to the whole image. And that's where I will do a little bit more line work and a little bit more detail. Okay. This one also, just make sure you follow the direction, the axis of the eyes with the face. So it is a little bit on an angle, and they also do look a little bit different, so I'm just gonna draw them how we see them. And hopefully it will look like Luna, otherwise I'm gonna have a lot of trouble explaining that to my girlfriend. Is it just me or she looks retarded? So I had to change the position of the eye a little bit, just because it was not really looking the right way. Now it looks proper, otherwise they looked a little bit too close to each other. Maybe actually. Now I have to measure, because I want to make sure that it looks proper. And I do feel like we need to move the eyes a little bit further away from each other. This one just a little bit, but I think it will make the difference. And that's what I'm saying, that, you know, just take your time. If something looks off, you can just redraw it. Don't be afraid to erase it and lose a good part. Just keep practicing and draw what you actually see, not what you think. If you want to draw something that looks like your dog, for example, you can't just imagine it. You have to actually look at your dog. I know I'm saying some like really basic stuff, but I should probably shut up. Okay, so I think we almost finished the basic shapes. We made the basic outline for the eyes, basic shape for the nose, for the mouth. We just have to finish basic fur shapes, and I don't mean this kind of thing. I mean the actual kind of like shadow blocks that you have to use, as well as the, you know, you can separate them by tone, because animals do have, like huskies, some gray, some white, some black, so you can also do that. I'm just gonna separate it a little bit, just some tones that I clearly see. I will use them. Okay, so I think for the sketch it's more than enough. Now I'm gonna go over with many layers of light pencil to make the undertone kind of like a middle tone, and I'm trying to make it as precise as possible to not leave any gaps. Since it's a big drawing and I haven't drawn in a while with pencils, I am going to have some gaps, but it's okay. One little tip, just make sure you shade it in one direction all the way and then you change the direction. This way it's going to look nice. So for example, don't start shading like this. Keep the same direction here. Because we do want to make it look a little bit realistic, so we don't want to see every stroke we do. And I'm not really thinking about, you know, going around the lines. I'm just trying to get the tone I can clean up later. That's not a problem. And you see I'm holding pencil like this. I actually do need to sharpen it. But for the shading part I think it's fine. For the basic tone it's fine. I will later on sharpen it. So now I can either rotate the drawing or I can rotate my hand. I will rotate the drawing a little bit since it's easier for me. Okay, so I decided to change the angle because apparently you guys didn't see anything, at least half of it you didn't really see, so I think that's better now. And everything is moving again, but let's just ignore that. Okay, so now we have the basic tone of the beautiful Luna. We have to make the darkest parts of the face, which are usually the eyes and the nose, sometimes ears. In this case, it's the head here, the eyes and the nose. The darkest parts are the lips, nose and eyes. So that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna do the same thing, just slowly build up. We're not gonna go really dark. I'm gonna just show you on a different page here, but never really, if you want to get the dark tone, never do this. You're gonna have a lot of gloss and you have no control. You can remove it if you use some special spray to like a fixative, but in my opinion it's just better to do it slowly, feel everything that you're doing. And this way I'm kind of like sculpting. Like you see, I'm not really following any certain line. I'm just looking at the image and sculpting, because that's how I usually build up the tone and the details in Procreate, and luckily I can do the same thing here. So I'm just gonna do the darkest part of the pupil, but there is a light part of it as well. So we're just gonna create more and more depth. And also, look, this is not gonna be like really black now, but it's darker than everything else. It has enough contrast for now. And that's the main goal. We're just gonna layer things out. So, you know, I can make this darker, for example. But do I really need it? No. Did I do it now? Yes. Will I do it next? Probably not. So, we can also shade this part a little bit darker. Just to separate it. And again, I'm using the same direction for now. When you're gonna do the texturing and actual detailing, you obviously want to use the right direction of the fur and stuff like this, but now it's not even nearly dark enough for this part, so we're just trying to separate it a little bit more. Okay, I can also darken these parts. Again, focus a little bit more on this part. So I had a little bit of an accident, and turns out that most of the drawing I did is not recorded. Sorry about that. I remember we only finished like the basic underlayer, and I almost, well, I can't say I'm finished it, but I'll just go over the things that has changed. I cut my eraser, so I have more control over adding the fur. In my opinion, with eraser it's really nice, and I have no idea how to do it without the eraser for now. I want to learn it, but that changed. I sharpened my pencil finally, but it looks like it's, I don't know if you could focus. Focus, please. Please focus. No? No focus? Okay. So it's not really sharp, but basically I did the main shadows in the face. I didn't wait for the end, so I added a little bit of this white pen. I have no idea what I'm using. Uniball Signal Broad something. But it's like a gel pen. It's pretty nice on top of the pencil. And what I have to do now is I have to do more shading. I want to get more contrast on the dark, at the darkest parts, because here it actually needs to be black. Here needs to be soft white, but need to have more texture, more realistic fur. The same goes for this part. I want to separate this part, the face, further from the neck, so I want to make more contrast here. Maybe add a little bit more shadow to the nose, just at the top, and just generally want to see what I can do with the face more, because it kind of looks still a little bit messy. But overall, with the whites, it looks way better. As you can see here, that's my setup, by the way. The nose is pretty light, so it is light here. You have some snow here, that's what I did, and maybe a little bit more light style parts here. So, and also on the nose here, I will have to add quite a bit more. But overall, I think it looks okay. I also have to add the whiskers, but we'll see. I'm just trying to see how I'm gonna draw it, so you guys can see it as well. So the first thing again we're gonna do is add a little bit more contrast to this part. And I already did somewhat of a fur here, so I'm just gonna slowly build up that tone here. Just to help it separate a little bit more, as well as here is kind of a soft edge, but not really. So it's also not too light. So we just want to make this part a little bit darker. If you want to make something lighter, sometimes you just make something else darker next to it, rather than erasing or something like this. So just carefully build up the tone here, and I think it's gonna look nice. So we have a little bit of a form break here, so we have to emphasize it here. I do want to make the edge here a little bit sharper. For now, we will mix it with the fur and stuff, but later. And I can also see a little bit of shadow here. So, actually, where is my beautiful eraser? I think I just lost it. No, there it is. So this part is actually a little bit lighter. The same with this part. So you see the way I'm doing the fur is just adding and subtracting. Something like this. And here it blends from the other side. Give it a little bit more texture. You can do the same thing here, just a little bit like this. And I do want to break these dark parts here a little bit. You can add texture, more texture later, but it just looked a little bit ugly. I don't know, now it looks better in my opinion. And we have some light shapes here as well as here, just a little bit. And let's just see. It definitely is more, at least on this side, looks better, but I need to make this part lighter. Yes. And a little bit more curvy. Otherwise it looked like hungry wolf rather than a husky. And maybe in some cases it would be nice, but not in ours, because we want to make my beautiful dog. And right now I'm standing, just looking a little bit from the distance to help understand the shape and the tone, just, you know, because with fur you basically build up that volume with the tone, rather than, like, it's not about doing every little hair, it's about making the tone first. Like, for example, if I wouldn't do fur texture, if I would just shade, it would still look like a dog or a wolf or something. The hair or the fur is just a nice touch, basically. So that's what we're gonna do now. Here we do need a little bit more contrast in the light area, I feel like, as well as we can do a few parts here like this. For now it looks nice. Just come back to this part. Maybe, you know what, that's where we have to mix a little bit the shapes. Kinda, but that's a little bit too light. Sorry, too dark. So we have to just erase it a little bit, especially here. It's more like a fade. Yeah. Nice. And also there is some texture here. I think next time I will try to make so you can see the reference and the drawing, but I mean, you see this part is darker. That's what I'm doing here. It's a little bit more visible on here, but I will add this a little bit more a bit later. Now I want to focus on these parts outside, and maybe this eye, the eyebrow, the under eye, these kind of parts I want to add a little bit more detail, and again maybe just a little bit more definition on the nose, because this part is actually darker. I do have some pigmentation marks or something like this. Also this part is darker, as well as this part. Just make it a bit darker. And better gradient here. Oops. Okay, it should be nice. And I do want to have a little bit more contrast here, but it's not just white, it's also the black parts that are going from here. That's better. As well as there is a gradient kind of here, but it needs to be a little bit smoother. So just gonna tap this out and this. As well as I do want to make this a little bit lighter here for a greater contrast. You barely can see the mouth closing here, just a little bit, as well as the beard is a little bit smaller, so we make it a little bit smaller, maybe smudge it just a little bit. The same here, you're not really gonna see too much mouth. What you have here is the underlip is lighter, and then you have some small gradient from here. I think that looks nice. Now I would want to fix this part, because this one is actually looking alright, but I don't need to fix the other side. So let's see here and here. I don't know if you can see, but there is this little shadow shape here under the eyelid. The same kind of shape we have here, but we want to make it a greater contrast. So what we will do, we will add a little bit lighter edge here and the same here. We can make it darker after, obviously, but we just want to figure out the shadows. And also I can see that there is one little kind of light shape sticking out here. Right, so Now it looks a little bit off because of the rough texture. Many other things actually, but I think we'll try to blend this part a little bit better. So for example, okay, we'll make this blend a little bit better. Maybe make this part darker. I noticed that the shape here, first of all, it's a little bit smoother, so she's not that angry actually. And also this one here goes out a little bit further, and this way shadow goes here, and then it becomes stronger. And it kind of makes sense if you look at it. Here's the light, here's the shadow. You're gonna have a highlight here, you're gonna have the opposite, you're gonna have a shadow. And the same here. Here. Oh, here you actually have both light, but it's gonna be darker. And I think it looks actually fine, but I do want to add a little bit more defined texture here. Just a little bit more, as well as blend the eyelid a little bit. So I still want to make this part somewhat darker, and you know, some parts here they do have to stand out a little bit more. Here is a little bit different because that's the light part, so you are gonna have lighter shadows generally. And also, oops, this part needs to be a little bit darker. So I think it's turning out fairly nice. Now I will shut up and just do the shading here. Okay, so I think what we really have to do now is do the ears, because otherwise the shape looks asymmetrical and we have to get the ears. So the contrast here is okay. It's not it's not really clean, but the fur looks okay. The bottom part we will have to retouch, but this part is okay. Mainly we have to do the ears now, and then we'll see. And then again for the ears, you see they are nice and white. So what we're gonna do, I will show you now. So what we will do is we will add some basic shadow. First of all, just add some fur kind of here and here, because we do need to add a little bit more tone to the ears. Again, I know it's a little bit messy, but since I already skipped half of it, I want to just make it done. Because of my video did not work as I planned, unfortunately. So I just want to, fix the main shapes, make these parts darker. Because that's how they should be. And the same here, just a little bit darker. Okay, I think I just want to add some highlights and that's it. There is quite a bit of highlights here where the snow is supposed to be. Some highlights here. Gonna have some. It's not working. I guess it's not always working really nice on pencil, or it's just generally not working really nice, but just add some snow. Some highlights. A little bit of highlights here. Okay, so you can actually see a little bit of whiskers, which is nice. We do need to add a little bit more here. There's also some snow and stuff here. And I kind of feel like it's enough. Maybe we can add a little bit more white here. And then you're not going to really have a lot of highlights on this side. We can though add a little bit here. And the same goes for this part of the ear, which is clearly in sun. So I guess I lied by saying I'm only using the pencil. I am only also using the pen, a white pen, but it's okay, you can forgive me. I think that's it. Maybe we can just blend with fingers here, so it does look a little bit more complete, and then add a little bit more texture here. Yeah, that actually works really nice. Ooh la la, that looks nice. Let's continue doing that. And also, what I do want to do to make this look right is just clean up around the actual drawing, because you will see how much tone we have here next to the drawing, and I think it will just pop a little bit more. Oh shit! Ah! Dobby! Yes, that looks definitely better. And now we just need to try to keep it clean before I use the fixative. I am using Winsor & Newton fixative for graphite and charcoal and other stuff, and it works great. Just blend things in and then give it a nice blow and it's done. So guys, thank you so much for sticking with me with this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it wasn't really like helpful because it's not a tutorial, but maybe you enjoyed it. Maybe next time I will just shut up and not say anything, just draw. If you want that, also tell me. But that's my doggy, and actually let's just show together. I think it looks pretty similar. I think my baby is a little bit wider than this baby. Also quite a little bit darker, but still I think she looks very similar. So peace.